call the committee of the whole meeting for Monday, April 3rd, 2023 to order. Roll call, please.
Mayor Fino.
Here.
Trustee Carroll.
Here.
Trustee Curtis. Here. Trustee Gately.
Here.
Trustee Lowry.
Here.
Trustee Nedved.
Here.
Trustee Salazar. Here.
All right, audience comments, trustee comments. Item 1 under discussion, Steve.
Thank you. Item number 1 is the draft budget follow-up. As you know, we've had our budget overview, we've had our budget detail discussion, and this is traditionally where Jason goes through those discussions and tells you what some of the final tweaks to the draft budget will be before it gets presented to the board for a final vote on May 1st.
So a couple just quick slides I'm going to go through tonight. So from the last board meeting, we've made a couple slight changes to the budget, so we're just going to go through a quick list of what's been changed. First of all, the general fund, we have an update to the pay plan and pay grade for the new business service administrative services manager. We also removed $10,000 that we had in there for contracted strategic plan professional services. The last time we did this in-house, so this is one of those things we kind of carried over, not knowing whether to do it in-house or contract it out. We decided to do it in-house again, so we removed that $10,000. But related to that, we added $2,500 for various meal supplies, things related to actually doing the strategic plan in-house. And then also we reduced the village hall office improvements from $10,000 to $5,000. This was originally due to when we really weren't sure where that restructuring plan was going. We had money in the budget for essentially creating new office space within the village. But since we were able to kind of get those positions in with less of a headcount, we don't have that need to create new office space anymore. So we went ahead and pulled that money out. So the general fund's total budget increase went from $1,300 last time you saw it to now it'll be $2,400 basically. And what keynote in there is we still have that $600,000 budgeted transfer from the general fund to the capital. So basically there's an extra $600 surplus that we're within the general fund that we're planning on pushing over to the capital projects fund. The water fund, 2 small changes. Basically both the east and west treatment plant are in need of some wall tuck pointing and waterproofing at $25,000 each. So this basically took the water fund decrease from $588,000 to $638,000 and those 2 items in there. And then the other change we have is in the TIF fund. And this really comes up with, we got the levy confirmation numbers from the DuPage County, or not DuPage, King County last week. We did see a slight decrease in the EAV on the Route 31 TIF. So because of that, we're dropping the revenue from $343,500 to $335,000. So that budgeted decrease actually went slightly up to $652,000. And on the flip side, in the United TIF, this being the second year within that TIF, last year we only saw maybe $115,000 of tax revenue. We were thinking that probably was going to be another year off before those Valley Green development numbers started coming online and we'd see a significant increase. But we actually are going to be seeing a significant increase this year. So we're upping that revenue number to $385,000, probably with another increase coming next year once those really get online. So the budgeted increase in the United TIF is going to go from $4,000 to $272,500. So the next board meeting, we're going to have the official public hearing. That will actually be noticed in the Daily Herald this Friday, April 7th. So if anybody's going to come out and give their comment on the budget, if needed, we'll bring back some additional changes. Anything else has come up in the next 2 weeks. We're probably going to have an update to the road program because that came in over budget. So we'll probably update those numbers just to make sure that all the final numbers are within the budget. And then we'll bring back the budget on May 1st for approval. So if there's any additional questions.
Thank you. Item 2, Steve.
Thank you. Item number 2 is in regard to the American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA, as everyone kind of knows it. So back when the village was awarded money through this program, roughly about $2.5 million, that money is only to be used on certain types of projects. Now, there's a stipulation that with the federal government, you have to obligate the funding for that by the end of 2024, and you have to spend it by the end of 2026. The village had gone to the board at one point and talked about using it for lead service line replacements. And the board said, sounds like a good program to use it for. The problem is that inventory is taking place right now, and it takes a long time to really get a comprehensive inventory going. So what Jason's going to talk about is, since we haven't officially obligated the money, he's going to talk to you about an option of putting it towards other projects and then using that funding in our water fund that we would normally use for those projects, and then using those maybe for lead service lines down the road. So that, Jason, I don't know what that's true.
Yeah, so I know we talked in January, February again with water rates. We mentioned one of the things we were building into the model to come up with the rates was the use of this, just under $2.5 million of ARPA money to go towards water projects, whether it be the lead service line or others. So we just think with the timeline of like Steve mentioned, of just trying to get this money spent and obligated before we run out of time, we identified various projects within the water fund that are either happening now or be part of this next upcoming budget that would basically use that money now, essentially free up funds for the future. Once we actually do get this lead service line going, we'll just use that money. So it's kind of just using which order we use the money essentially. So the four projects we identified were the Well 5 improvements, which are currently ongoing, the Chestnut Locust Spruce Water Main Project, which is currently ongoing, Well 6 improvements for next year, and then the Clearwater Lovedale offset, and then the first Fox River Water Main crossing for next year. We're going to put something in there basically saying, other ARPA eligible water related projects, just in case there's some unforeseen schedule change where we couldn't get something done. But essentially what we want to do here is say we're going to use these for water related projects or water fund related projects in some way, shape, or form. If none of these four that we've identified happen, we're going to pick something else eligible to be used within the water fund. So next meeting we'll bring back a resolution just kind of setting, these are what we're going to use the money on, this is the plan. So that's kind of where we're at now with the ARPA funds.
Yeah, that's good. So that audit, that's a big job. That water line, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I know we're getting CDBG funds hopefully for that one too. So hopefully between those funds and these ARP funds, basically it's all going to be grant.
Well, that needs to get done, so yeah, that's a good idea, actually.
As far as lead service lines go, when the inventory comes back and we send that to the IEPA and we have a better feel, and so far it's going okay. I mean, we've gotten, I think, about 40% of the respondents back. What we're trying to do is that number will give us the actual dollar amount for the program, and then what we'll do is we'll take the remaining funds and we'll kind of map out a plan for how many lines per year we can afford to do. And if the board still wants to pay for lead service line replacements, we would just do it out of a different funding source. It doesn't have to be ARPA, but it can be something else.
Sounds like a good plan.
When do you think that you're going to have the total of the lines that need to be replaced? Like, do you have a deadline for the residents to respond, or how are you going about getting
Yeah,
it?
we had I think we have to, is it April this year, John, that we have to put the first inventory report in? The issue is that we sent it out to as many houses as we thought could have lead, and that's based on the year they were built, so 1986 or earlier. Everyone got a letter basically, and that's 1,300 homes. Now, we didn't think we have 1,300 homes of lead, we just simply wanted to canvass every existing area where there might be lead. And from there, we've only had, like I said, 40% responded. There was deadlines, those deadlines have passed. Sometimes people might be a little reluctant to share information about their houses. We try to make sure that they understand this isn't a scam, this is the village actually trying to build a program that could benefit them. So we were in our kind of our second round of notices to those houses. And eventually, it'll get to a point where we'll probably have to knock on doors and go and actually inventory, house by house.
How does the homeowner determine whether they have lead pipes or not?
So it's actually kind of funny, but the copper's easy, right? Because copper's orange in color, is it copper color? So, but lead and galvanized steel are both gray, and one of them, I can't remember off the top, it's John, correct me, but one of them you can scratch, it's lead, and then it's real shiny underneath, and then galvanized, it's dull. So if it's galvanized steel though, even though that makes up a very small percentage of piping, we think the process is, it's like got a zinc coating that has lead in it, so we still treat galvanized basically as if it was lead.
Yes.
So it's pretty easy for the homeowner to determine. It's not like it doesn't cost them money or a lot of time. You just have to go scratch the pipe.
Yeah, and here's the thing. We tell people all the time, call the village, send us pictures, we'll help you walk through it. And if you don't know, we send somebody to your house and we'll go into the basement and actually find your water meter and do it for you.
The inspector will know the difference between copper and galvanized or
Yes.
lead.
Steve, of the 40% that's replied, how are the numbers coming in?
Very low in the amount of lead, so that's good. I don't have the exact number, but it's a low percentage, but that all depends on who's responding.
It's found around 3-4%.
So is it less than what you guys expected?
Yes.
Awesome.
Any discussion? All right. Motion adjourn to exec session.
Motion to adjourn to exec session.
Discuss personnel.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.